rippling over her curves like mercury. She flung open the terrace windows and slipped off her shoes, swinging them nonchalantly in one hand. She dropped them at the edge of the steaming, heated pool. Leo liked it to be warm all year. A crowd gathered on the terrace as Evie executed a perfect dive, her body streaking underwater like a silver fish before surfacing at the other end. A cheer greeted her as she stepped elegantly up from the pool, squeezing the water from her hair. "Evie, you're bonkers!" A young officer in uniform planted a kiss on her cheek and draped a blanket around her shoulders. "Happy New Year!"
"Hello, Peter."
She slipped her arm through his. "Come on, let's get you inside before you catch your death." He led her around the packed dance floor to the bar. People smiled indulgently as she passed. You could always count on Evie to make an entrance. "Where have you been all night?" A drunken girl in a pale blue bias-cut gown giggled as Peter handed Evie a brandy.
"I went to see Mary, Charles's mother."
Evie put the glass on the mantelpiece and warmed her toes by the fire. Somehow, she managed to make even a blanket look like an elegant wrap. "How is she?" The smile fell from Peter's face as Evie pursed her lips and shrugged. "Jolly decent of you to go out tonight."
"I didn't like to think of her alone. She looked so awfully sad on Boxing Day."
"Of all of us, I thought Charlie would make it through," Peter said quietly. "He was so full of life. I'll never forget the two of you bombing down that black run in Chamonix. You were determined to beat him."
Evie shook her head. "He was like a brother to me. You never can tell which one of us is going to get bumped off next."
"Evie!" Leo cut through the crowd towards her. He barely cleared 5 feet, but he was a dynamo of a man, and whenever he bore down on her, Evie pictured a missile skimming through water. Without her heels, their gazes locked, eye to eye. He eyed her wet, clinging dress with exasperation. She held up a hand.
"Before you start, I went to see Mary."
Nonplussed, he thought quickly.
"She's only in the next village. What took so long?"
"I ran out of petrol."
"Not again. How many times have I told you?"
"Daddy, I can't get used to this rationing. I thought I had enough left."
"You can't drive on fumes, especially not at the speed you drive. Where's the Aston?"
"On the verge between here and White Waltham."
He frowned.
"I'll send Cullen in the morning."
"Sorry, Daddy."
Evie bit her lip.
"What am I going to do with you?"
As Leo embraced her, Evie saw the scowl on Virginia's face and raised a triumphant eyebrow.
"Happy New Year."
She planted a quick kiss on his cheek before he bustled back into the party. Her father's cocksure, springing step reminded her of a Jack Russell out on the razzle, up to no good. "I don't know how you do it." Peter shook his head. Evie watched her father in his element, surrounded by friends and hangers-on, and that old familiar loneliness crept in.
"Years of practice."
"So," she said briskly,
"What have I missed?"
"It's been marvelous," the drunken girl trilled. "Lucky always throws the most wonderful parties. Tonight, you'd never know there was a war on."
A young soldier grabbed her hand and pulled her onto the dance floor as the big band struck up In the Mood. Evie shook her head.
"Silly girl." "Come on, old thing," Peter laughed. "You're only 20 yourself."